The NBA season coming to the end in just a month, we are bringing you our NBA playoff predictions, and no better person to do this with than Finn. Unfortunately, Dev couldn't be here today, but yeah, we started the season together. We're gonna end the season together in one of the last episodes of season one of Across Association for ABL Sports, one of our first series. Finn, you ready to get after it?
I am, yeah. Let's go into it.
Okay, so let's go to our first round NBA prediction or playoff predictions. So I'll let you kind of start this one off. We'll go west then east.
Yeah, so first matchup I have is pretty clear cut. Thunder versus Suns. Yeah, Thunder versus
Yeah.
Suns. I mean,
Not much to think
Thunder
with that
just
one.
not much to think of that. I'm not going to go into it. I think Thunder are the best team in the league or in the West, and the Suns are a play-in team. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, no, same with me too. And next we got the Spurs and the Blazers, two still pretty young teams. Um,
Yeah.
but I think Spurs just kind of take care of it. Not much to
Yeah, I
say.
mean Spurs have yeah, well, I think the Spurs are pretty close to being this might be a hot take, pretty close to being as good as the Thunder, at least in
Yeah,
head-to-head
no, that's
matchups.
not
I
a
think
hot take.
they
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, some people are just super high on the Thunder, but the Spurs are a really good team. The Blazers, again, like another play-in team. I think both of these are arguably the two best teams in the league. I don't see these series going to any more than 5 games.
Yeah. Okay, next, in my opinion, what the best matchup of the first round is going to be Nuggets versus Timberwolves. I got this going to seven. You got this going to six. So you still have this being a competitive series. I think this is going to be really good. Like, I think
Yeah,
this can be some cinema right here.
it definitely will be cinema. The Nuggets, I mean, um, yeah, I think this is a really tough pick for me. I think both of these teams are really, really well matched, and anytime it's Gobert versus Jokic, it is cinema. Like, it's just incredible. But again, Jokic, I think, is probably one of the most versatile and talented players in the league. So it's going to be really hard to stop him, and I don't see how the Timberwolves can do that. And then even if Jokic isn't, even if they somehow do manage to stop Jokic, you still have this. You still have Jamal Murray. You still have Aaron Gordon. You still have so many other players on this team who could step up. Cam Johnson.
Yeah. So my thing with this is like, I think the Wolves are going to break through. Like we said in like the past episodes of Cross Association, we thought this could maybe be this year, but we kind of thought, okay, now it's probably going to be next year. Ants, I know Ants had a lot of good playoff moments. He needs to establish, he needs a really good one. I'd probably say the last really good playoff moment he had was, funny enough, against the Nuggets, beating them in
Yeah,
that second round series a couple of years ago. And here's the thing: if the Wolves were not playing the Nuggets the first round, I would have actually picked the Wolves to beat pretty much any other team in the first round, like as an underdog. Like I actually would have picked
interesting.
them to beat the Spurs first round. Which nothing against the Spurs. I think the Wolves have a lot of playoff experience, but I just think that the Nuggets match up greatly against the Wolves simply because of Nikola Jokic. Um, but yeah, no. So this is, in my opinion, going to be the best playoff series of the first round. And now moving to the final matchup in the West, we both got the Rockets beating the Lakers, but I think we both think the Lakers aren't going to go out without a fight, especially with I think Luka's probably going to return midway through the series.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason I have the Lakers winning
Yeah.
like 2 games is because I mean, again, not much to say that hasn't been said, but no AR, no Luca. It's just going to be really difficult, and LeBron's 42 or 41,
Yeah,
so
like
you can't expect LeBron to carry the entire team.
yeah, I know. And like, let's say like Luca wasn't coming back, I'd probably pick this series in five. I'd give the Lakers a win just
Yeah,
out of respect for LeBron, because I don't think he would get swept, and what potentially might be his final playoff series ever. Um, but yeah, no, like I said, like you said, not much to say. Now we're going on to the East, starting off with Finn's favorite team, the team he's been hyping up all year, the Pistons against the Magic.
yeah,
Um, I you got the Pistons in five. I got the Pistons in six. What care to say share more about this series?
I do. Yeah, well, I mean, again, I've been hyping up the Pistons all year. Really good team, a really well-oiled machine. They remind me a lot of how Boston was when they kind of first when Jaylen Brown and Tatum were kind of gelling together. And then on top of that, I mean, the Magic are just nothing about the Magic has impressed me this year. Like, I know they just beat the Hornets today, but playing against the Sixers and they're down, the Sixers are down a bead. Again, still a decent team, but down a bead. And they couldn't do that. They played Boston when Boston was starting their second or third stringers, like still lost in a must win game to get home court advantage. Like nothing about this team impresses me, and I like honestly just don't want to. I'm actually really upset that the Hornets lost today because the Hornets are the opposite. There's so much fun, so much upside. The Magic are just like a team that cannot win with the core that they have. So it's a bit disappointing that they made the playoffs. I can't lie. But yeah, this will be a quick one. I can see it being done in four. I'm just
Yeah.
being giving a game to be nice.
Yeah, I think a little differently. I think the Magic are going to put up a fight. I think
I don't think they can.
I think it's going to be mainly be Paulo Banchero. I think he's gonna I don't know. I
PB
think
no J.
what?
PB no J. Paolo.
Yeah, I think this kind of I don't want to say the Magic remind me of the Pistons last year. That's more the Hornets for me this year. But I think Paulo Banchero, I think he's gonna win the Magic a couple games in this series. You're probably gonna be right about this, but I don't know. But I just I really like Paulo. Like I really like him.
Yeah.
Like and I
But Paul
think
George has played better than him in since like April, since all of April. So
yeah,
I mean,
I know that. I know the Magic are coming into the playoffs, probably the coldest team in the playoffs. But I think I don't know. I just have a weird thing, you know, the Magic could hang around for 6 games.
if
Um,
this was like 2 months ago, I'd be with you. But as of the last month, like I just cannot see it. That
yeah,
Celtics game like
I'm still living in
really
the past a
made me
little
lose
bit.
faith.
You want to kick off the next
Yeah.
series?
Yeah, sure. I guess I kind of have to. So
Yeah.
Celtics Sixers. I mean, this is one I really did not want to play this team. There was no winning here for the Sixers. You either play the Pistons, who are just as good as Boston, maybe better, or you play the Celtics, who've just had our number. I don't think the Sixers have ever beat the Celtics in a playoff series, and I don't really see that changing this year. If Embiid was playing, I would genuinely consider it, but he's not going to come back until like game 3 or 4, and I could see the Sixers winning a few games genuinely, and that is a bit delusion, a bit of delusion at play there. I
Well,
will
I
admit
mean,
that.
I have this series going further than you do, so maybe you're more realistic.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
I was looking at this. I thought you had them in 6. Okay, that's interesting. I could see it going to 7 games. I mean, if Embiid comes back and he is really that X factor, which he definitely can be, like it's Embiid, then I could see the Sixers winning. I just think it's really unlikely. And even if the Sixers did win, they have to play. Who they play next? Actually,
The Knicks, which
oh,
I think is
they
a
could.
favorable matchup now. But
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, you're right.
I don't want to spoil the next round. But here's why I
Yeah,
have
we'll
this
keep
going to
going.
7. I'm going to assume Embiid's out for at least the first 2 games, and I'm going to call Game 3 questionable. So I'm going to say you don't get Embiid for 3 games. Let's just kind of play it safe. I think if the Sixers can get one in the first 3 games. I'm not
Yeah,
saying they win, but I'm saying they're going to push the Celtics. And I think the Celtics, in a way, might come and sleepwalk into this series, because they're looking at the next round against the Knicks, and then they got the Pistons, whatever. Um, I think the Sixers are going to put up a fight, and I think Tyrese Maxey. I mean, it's his time.
yeah,
And I don't know. It's just this Sixers team. It's really gritty, and I don't like. I know, like I think the last time the Sixers and the Celtics played, it was a 7 game series. That's when they blew the 3-2 lead.
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
the time before that, it was the bubble which got swept. I don't really consider the bubble like because I believe Embiid and Ben Simmons were out that series. Um,
Embiid played, but Ben Simmons was out, and then before that, it was like the process Sixers with the first time they went to the
yeah,
playoffs. Like it's yeah, I get
the
what you mean. I
Celtics have
mean,
had the Sixers number. Um,
they have
but
100%.
yeah,
This
but
is this is the best chance I think the Sixers have, though. Genuinely, like
that's
it's kind of now or never for this team. Maybe you get one more year out of not to turn this into a Sixers conversation, but maybe you get one more year of prime Embiid, and then Paul George playing at a decent level.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this
No,
is you got to win this year.
I think Paul George versus the Celtics forwards as well is going to be an interesting matchup. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, true.
like everyone's saying like I think a lot of people are saying like, oh, like we know Maxi's going to step up, but we need to see Paul George step up while Embiid's out. I'm kind of more the
He
other
has
way.
a he has.
Yeah, I know he has, but I meant like in the playoffs because he's kind of been known to choke a little bit in the playoffs. But I'm more in the way, I'll spend like 30 more seconds on this because I know we're spending a lot of time on this series.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm more the thing. It's like I'm not expecting much out of Paul George. I know he's played good in the past couple of weeks, but we need Maxey to play like a top 5 player, and I actually think he will. And I think the series goes to 7. But I don't think it's like a true kind of competitive 7 game series. I think it's more. It's like Game 6. The Sixers are at home and they steal one from the
yeah,
Celtics. They go back to Boston. It's kind of a blowout in Game 7. Um,
yeah. I could see that.
yeah. So next going on, Knicks Hawks. The only reason I picked this to go to 6 was because of the history these two have in the playoffs. If it was any other team, I probably would pick it in 5.
The Knicks. I'm just gonna say Knicks are on fraud watch. They're on seriously high ridiculously high to the moon Artemis 2 level fraud watch. Like I do not have any faith in this team. This team is going to get they're going to play Boston. They're going to get their butts kicked by
Don't
Boston.
spoil, don't spoil. Wait, I have a lot to say about this series. Can we wait?
I won't say okay, I won't say too much, but I just think the Hawks are a really cheeky team and they've been what? They were like 20-5 in their last or like 20-7 in their last 25 games or so. Like they're coming in hot. Knicks, I really am not I just don't see it happening. But you go. I can tell you're
Yeah,
excited.
I'm not a fan of the Knicks at all. It's just this
Okay.
Hawks team. I just like I, uh, I like. I'll put it this way: if the Knicks were playing the Sixers in the first round, I'd pick the Sixers.
Ooh, I would much rather have that matchup. If the
Yeah,
Sixers only won like one, literally just like one or two more games.
yeah.
If
I
Paul George didn't get that ridiculous suspension,
Yeah. I like I'm not even kidding. If the Knicks were playing the Sixers, the Hornets in the first round, I'd pick the Sixers and the Hornets to beat them. But Mitch may
wow.
spoil my pick for the next round. But I but yeah, no, let's save the Knicks slander for next round because I kind of know we both have a lot to say about them next round in their next series, which we all know is going to be against the Celtics now. And then we got Cavs
I hate the
Raptors.
Knicks.
Cavs Raptors. I don't think much of this year. I think the Raptors are a bit underrated. If the Raptors were in the West, I think they'd be more of a 7 or 8 seed. But I think Cavs
Yeah.
win. I think it's a pretty simple series for the Cavs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have nothing to say. I mean, Cavs, look, Harden, actually, I do have something to say. Harden and D Mitch look really good together. Like, I think this is a better team than when they had Darius Garland. Um, and yeah, like, this will be a pretty straightforward series. I don't think the Raptors can stop what the Cavs have going on
Yeah,
right
the
now.
only reason the Raptors like take this to 6 is the home field advantage, or like they win like games 3 and 4. All right,
Yeah.
moving on to the semis. Sorry, we kind of dragged that first round out a long time. We're gonna start with in my opinion, what's gonna be the most actually, I don't think it's gonna be the most boring series. Actually, it might be. Thunder Rockets. You got the Thunder over the Rockets in 6. I got the Thunder sweeping them. I think the two fakest teams in the playoffs are the Rockets and Knicks. I'm about to explain why for the both. The Rockets, I mean, if they weren't playing the Lakers in the first round, I'd pick the Rockets to lose first round.
Sorry.
You don't like
I'm just
that.
like, no, I'm just like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm so with you. Like, they're literally the same team. They're on, like I said, high fraud watch. Rockets, I don't, maybe I was drunk. I don't know why I picked them to go to 6 games, honestly. Like, this could get done in 4. The Rockets are, I wanted to save, I was going to talk about the Rockets a bit in the previous slide, but I mean, Rockets are just like, they're so dysfunctional. Like, this is a team that should be doing so well, but they're dysfunctional. And Kevin Durant's out here tweeting about Jabari Smith, and that's
Yeah.
going to cost them the rest of the season. Like,
But I have a
not
question.
that
Did I not
particular,
say in one of
yeah.
our first episodes of Across Association, I don't have a good feeling about the Rockets this year?
Well, they started off really well. I think it was just like maybe they went into a slump for whatever one reason or another, and then the
Yeah.
KD thing happened, and now it's just been like, like no way Jabari Smith Jr. hasn't seen those tweets, even if they're Kevin Durant or not. Like
Yeah.
that has to have some effect on you as a player, especially if you're a young player on a developing squad.
100%. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan of like the Rockets at all. And like I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest, like if the Timberwolves won like 3 more games or the Rockets won like 3 less games, they would have been fucking first rounded. All right. Like I said, moving on.
yeah,
Like
seriously, that.
all right, moving on. In my opinion, this is going to be the best series of the playoffs. Better than the finals,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Nuggets, Spurs. You
that's
got
hot.
this. This is our first disagreement, our first major disagreement. You got the Spurs over the Nuggets in 6. I got the Nuggets over the Spurs in 7. I'll let you start on this one.
Well, I kind of see where you're coming from. I mean, the Nuggets are very experienced, and it's Jokic again. Like I don't
If
have
there's one
I
guy
have
that
so
can
much high
stop
praise for
Wemby,
him.
if there's one guy that can control Wemby,
If there's one guy that can control Jokic,
I
besides
think they
Gobert,
cancel each
it's
other out.
Wemby. Yeah, I mean they're both gonna. I could see Wemby. I mean Wemby's just nobody can guard Jokic. I could see Jokic having like 50 and 10, and then Wemby having like 40, 10, and like 5 blocks. Like
Yeah.
something. This series will be. This is the kind of like culmination of what Adam Silver's been trying to build with his kind of European program and
This
trying to
is
get
the Adam
European
Silver
players into the
series.
league. It literally is, and I'm here for it. Like it's gonna be. I know we've kept using this word. It will be cinema. Like this is must watch primetime basketball. This is
Yeah.
peak basketball.
And I know everyone's gonna be talking about this is the best series. I mean, this is an original take. It's just kind of common sense. Um,
Yeah.
like Colin Cowherd's been hyping this series up the last couple of days. But yeah, like I just think it's gonna be kind of based off experience and based off I think the Spurs kind were I think the Spurs might have been too good too early. Like, I don't think people expected
Interesting.
Wemby to be like an MVP guy his second year or his third year. Sorry, yeah, his third year now, right?
Yeah, third year, which is
Um,
crazy, by the way.
yeah. But I think this is more based solely off experience. Like, this is a go either way game for me, like, or go over either way series for me. And you're about to see why in the
Yeah,
next
same.
slide. But I just think the Nuggets win kind of based off experience. They've been here before, and it has been a bit since they've won a big playoff series. And I
Well, they
think,
have great chemistry too.
yeah, I know that too. Like that, probably best in the league, honestly. But like I
Yeah,
said, it's gonna be such a good series. But it's like I just I think this goes to seven no matter who wins. Um,
yeah,
like, but
I'm with you.
I just think the Nuggets. I don't know. I think their experience wins, and especially if they get out to an early lead in the series, like if they get out to like maybe a 2-0 lead.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. All right, now moving
the
on to the
series is going to no less than six.
yeah. Now going to the East, Pistons Cavs and what could be an underrated series. You got the Pistons in five. I got the Pistons in six.
Yeah,
Floor is
I
yours.
mean, yeah, I think I am underrating it a bit. I'm really high on the Pistons. Like, I think they're an amazing team, and they're really
Really?
hard to
I didn't
stop.
know that.
But I'm leaving the call. Nah, I mean, there's still like I just don't see how the Cavs can stop this team. Like, there's so many people. They just remind me a lot of the Celtics. Like, that's the best comparison I can make. And if the Cavs were playing the Celtics, I'd have the Celtics there too.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think the Cavs are a good, gritty team. Some would say they're a LeBron away. Um, but
Yeah,
I I think I don't know. I think the Cavs are going to put up a fight against the Pistons. I don't think the Pistons are going to come and go into the series against the Celtics all kind of like sunshine and rainbows. They're going to be a little beat up because of the Cavs. Now going to the Celtics second round series, I think we're going to have really similar thoughts on this. Where I'm imagining we're going to spend a good couple minutes on this. You got the Celtics in six. I got them in five. I kind of want to start on this one. Um, I don't believe in the Knicks at all. I've been highly critical of the Knicks for the past couple months. One of what's weird, statistically they're better in like every category this year, but they just feel worse.
yeah.
Like, and
Um,
I almost picked the Celtics to sweep the Knicks, and I didn't even do that because of I thought of the Knicks highly. I did that because I didn't know how highly I thought of the Celtics. That is the only reason why I didn't pick this to be a sweep.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm purely going off for this pick. I mean, the Celtics are just they're just a better team. They've been the better team without Jason Tatum. Why would they not win this? It just it doesn't make sense to me. But I'm also going off vibes. Like I could see the Knicks being a team where in 3 years they just like blow it up. Like this core does not do it for me. Like Cat and Jalen Brunson and like Mikal Bridges, like on paper it's amazing. They have a good team, but it's just like it's just not enough. Like you know what's crazy is like I can't even pin it, but something is just missing from this team. Maybe it's the coaching, I don't know. But I just can't see a world where they beat any I wouldn't have them beating the Sixers. I wouldn't have them beating the Pistons. Like, I just don't see a world where this team can like seriously contends on the same level as like the Spurs or the Thunder
Yeah,
or
this
the
is
Celtics
one.
Pistons.
Yeah, this is one of those teams that they got really lucky with their playoff seeding. Like the Knicks, they
Yeah,
just got
yeah.
extremely lucky. Even if they were the two seed, they would have lost to the Sixers first round, in my opinion. It kind of like comparing it to the NFL, they're kind of like the Patriots, um, where they just like this kind of postseason. Not that I thought the Patriots were a fake team, like I thought they were a legit team. The Knicks, I think, are a fake team, but the Patriots, they got kind of lucky with their playoff seeding. With the Knicks, I think it's the same deal. Like I think, like I said, the only like if they were against the Pistons, I'd probably pick the Pistons to sweep them. But yeah, no, like I said with you, in 3 years, this might be a blow it up thing. Like if James Dolan doesn't have anything better to do, and like I said, like I was very vocal. I thought the Knicks should have kept Tibbs. I just thought instead of
Yeah.
firing him, you kind of ask him to change his coaching philosophy, give him a 1 year test run, and all the players loved him. All the Villanova guys loved him. But yeah, the Knicks. Yeah.
I mean, James Dolan is not a good owner anyway, so maybe that's what it is. Like, I think under like just sell like people have been saying this for like 10 to 15 years. Just sell the team. Like he's just a dictator, and nothing can go right for this team until he sells it. I think
Yeah. I think the Knicks will get their own video in the offseason for the NBA.
they
Um
will. Yeah, they definitely will. Next year's make or break for them, or the year after.
all
Like
right.
their time is coming. You know,
Oh yeah.
to blow it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of, funny enough, like the Sixers are last year with Simmons and Embiid, right before Simmons just went
Hmm.
off the rails. Like it's now or never. All right, next,
Yeah.
moving on to the conference finals. Starting out with the West, what I think is going to be another good series. Well, any of these series is going to be a good series for the West. You got the two young guns, even though the Thunder don't seem that young because they already won a championship. The Thunder over the Spurs in seven, very early 2010s ish of you. I got the Thunder over the Nuggets in six. I'll let you kind of talk about the Thunder and Spurs because we have two different series for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be like you have the Nuggets and the Spurs being the series of the playoffs. This is the finals for me. Like whoever wins this team, I think will win the finals.
Interesting.
Now, I actually don't know if that's true, but I'm not going to talk about the Pistons because I know how you feel. But this to me is like
Sponsored by the
this is just gonna
Pistons.
this is just gonna be awesome. This is just a I know it's a bit of a cliche, but just a heavyweight fight. Like it is an amazing series, and both of these teams have just played really well all season. They've been head to head all season, and they've been really close. It's just going to be super competitive. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think the Thunder versus Spurs, it's gonna be like it's like if they end up if the Thunder and Spurs end up playing each other in this conference finals, I think it's going to be the first of many playoff matchups. Like they're going to be playing each other every year in the
Yeah,
playoffs for the next like 10 years. So I got the Thunder over the Nuggets, and I know I've been hyping up the Nuggets this whole video. I got them over in six, which is over the Nuggets in six, which is why I like to include how many games we think each series will go, because this is why. First round, as you guys know, I had the Nuggets in a 7 game series. Second round had the Nuggets in a 7 game series against probably the like other like two of the top four teams in the West, in my opinion.
yeah,
Um, and I just think the Nuggets run out of gas. I think it's as simple as that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder beat the Nuggets in five. I just got too much respect for the Nuggets to do that, to pick that. Um, but yeah, I just think it's a simple case of the Nuggets run out of gas. If you told me, hey, like they beat like the Wolves in five and like the Spurs, let's just say, God forbid, an injury happens to the Spurs or something, and they beat them in five or six, okay, I give the Nuggets a really good chance to beat the Thunder. I might actually pick them to beat the Thunder, but I think it's simple. They run out of gas. Nothing like Nuggets go in the offseason holding their head high. I think that's all it is. That's just
yeah. I like that take. That's good.
yeah. All right, now going on the East. No surprise here for Finn's pick. You say your case, I'll state mine.
Um, we're not really having a debate. Um, this is the hardest series to pick for me because I see the Pistons just as a younger version of the Celtics.
Yeah,
So what it really comes down to for me is how well can Jason Tatum play? If he can give 20 points a game, 25 points a game, Celtics are winning this.
yeah,
But on top of that, you also need everyone else to step up. And I feel like historically the Celtics, they've had players to do that. Players who can come in and just kind of step in. And they even had it in the last game of the season. Like the Celtics are an incredible team. That being said, the Pistons have the same exact situation going on, and I think Cade is the best player in the series. I love the kind of like chaotic, gritty energy that the Pistons bring. It's really retro. Um, and I can't even believe I'm saying this. I just don't think the Celtics can match it this year. I think the Pistons are just they've had too good of a season. They've been too dominant in the East, and I just don't think like Jaylen Brown will be the best player in the series. Tatum needs to be the best player for them to win this. That's how I see it.
yeah. Um, so I actually do think I kind of agree with you. I know you just said Jaylen Brown, but you mentioned Cade's probably the best player in the series. I agree the Pistons have the best player in the series. However, I think the Celtics have the second, third, fourth, and probably fifth best players in the series. Um, And I just like the Pistons in it. Listen, I kind of went back and forth with this. Um, but it's so tough to predict. And like
Yeah,
I just think the Celtics, I mean, I think Tatum, people are still kind of underrating him. Hey, can he give us like 20 points a night? I think he can. And I think he's kind of got something. I think Tatum's got something to prove. Because you're like, Tatum could have just not come back this year. No one would have had a problem with it. But
yeah,
Tatum came back this year, and if he would have come back, and here's like when he came back, the Celtics were in a groove. And if he would have came back and the Celtics dropped a couple of games, people would have been like, Tatum's the problem, Jaylen Brown's the best player. And Celtics haven't had any drop off in play, and I think Tatum's out on a mission, and I don't think he's going to be the best or even the second best player in the series. Um, but I think he's going to be a big factor. And I think, the Celtics, they've still been monitoring his minutes. I think they're going to let him go full go in this series because this is, in my opinion, the Celtics that this is like first round they get a little tested with the Sixers. Second round, it's a bye week against the Knicks. This is going to be their first really, really tough series. And I just think I don't want to say experience because it's going to sound really cliche because I said that for like the Nuggets and Spurs, but I just think the Celtics, this core has been together for so long. And they,
Every
oh, go
you go,
on.
sorry.
Oh, and I
You
was
go.
gonna say,
You're good.
like the Pistons, it's a younger version of the Celtics. I completely understand that, but I'm gonna give it to the veteran this round. And with how good the Pistons are gonna be, this might be the last shot the Celtics have at a championship for the next 2 to 3 years because of how good the Pistons are.
Every now and then, though, and again, I agree with all that. Like the series is going to seven no matter what. I think every now and then, though, a team comes along that I'm not going to compare them to the Thunder because that's just crazy. But every now and then, a young team comes along and they win that series that puts them at the top.
Oh yeah,
It, I just see that being the Pistons. Like they play like they're vets, and Cade has been in the league for like 6 years now. Like he's been in the league for a while,
yeah,
so he could definitely come in and he could be that guy. Like he could put
and
up,
I think he will be.
he could do it. He will be, yeah. I mean, he could be that leader. And also, this is such just a well-rounded squad. And I think the Celtics, like they played really, really well this year. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that these teams are obviously both well-oiled machines. I think the Pistons have just done it better throughout the year, and they've won more games.
No, I agree. And the Pistons are actually 4-0
Yeah,
against the Celtics this year, which is why I
there you
almost
go.
picked the Pistons to win. But the Celtics didn't have Tatum any of those. And not that I think Tatum's
Yeah,
like a top three player in the NBA. I think he's more in the 8 to 10 range when healthy. Um,
no, but he
but
has that gravity though.
yeah, but it's like it's just tough. But like I said, like, and here's the thing: this series can kind of like a couple years ago when the Timberwolves came on and they swept the whatchamacallit, the Suns, and they were kind of in a
Yeah,
way the younger version of the Suns with like Ann and all that. I know that was a pretty bad comparison, but it's just kind of what your analogy reminds me of. But I don't know. I just think the Celtics, this core, uh, But I will say this series is going to be really good for the Pistons no matter what. Because I think if
yeah.
they
Oh,
win, obviously
100%.
they go to the finals. If they lose, I think they can tell themselves, hey, we're going to be back in this next year. I think next year the Pistons got a
Yeah,
straight shot at the finals.
yeah. I mean, no matter what, you're getting crucial experience. And if this is the core that Detroit wants to keep around, which why they
Yeah, why
definitely will
wouldn't
and
you?
they should. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Then like this is great. This is like the stuff that makes you better next year. And then when we have the same conversation, maybe more people have Detroit winning. Maybe Detroit wins the finals. Like you never know. It's gonna be amazing. I can't we're really the NBA this year has been amazing. And I think it's just the conference finals are just gonna be the cherry on top.
Yeah. All right, going on to the NBA finals. You got in a shock. You're not picking your Pistons. You got the Thunder over the Pistons in 6. I got the Celtics over the Thunder in 7. I'll let you go first.
I cannot see the Celtics beating the Thunder.
Oh, I have my explanation.
Okay. But the Thunder are speaking of well-rounded teams, everyone on this team is amazing. And then they got Jared McCain. There's
Yeah.
like Shea's
He's like the
still,
cherry on top. He's been better on the Thunder than he was the Sixers. He's already pretty good on the
yeah,
Sixers.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he was already improving in his second year, and then he got traded. So, I mean, I just don't. Shea is still. I mean, people are still underrating Shea. He's still a top three player in the league, and he might get MVP again. He's the reigning MVP. These are the reigning champions. They have the exact same team. They've only spent more time together. They're the one seed again for like what the second or third year in a row. I don't know.
Hmm.
I want to hear your Celtics explanation though, like genuinely, because it
Yeah,
could happen,
so
but I just think it's unlikely.
so I based off just going off this year, and I know Tatum wasn't playing in either of these games. The Celtics, the first time they played the Thunder, they beat them by like 10 points, kind of controlled the game in the second half. The second time the Thunder kind of beat the Celtics by I think like 3 points, something really close like that. Um
Yeah,
I here's the thing. I think part of it is the back-to-back thing, how hard it is to do that. I'll be honest, like if
yeah,
the Thunder didn't win last year, I probably would pick them to win this finals. Um, but I think the Celtics, in a way, I don't want to say it's a last dance, but their core, this is the Aussie, and they're gonna have to trade some more guys. Like, and
yeah.
and
They
this
need
is
some more.
oh
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I would like to get see them get a few more rotation pieces.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, I just think like this series, like this would be a great series. And I actually do think the Celtics match up pretty well with them. Um, and I just, I think this is gonna be a lot of this series is gonna consist of a lot of high scoring games. I think it does go to seven. Um, but I
Yeah,
will say if the Thunder wins, I don't think it goes to seven. Um, like I wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised. I'll put it this way. I wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder won this in like five. Um, if they just come out and dominate. But I just think the Celtics, I think the Celtics, they're gonna come in here, kind of like what they did to the Warriors in 2022 when they won the first game, and everyone was like, "Well," but the Warriors ended up winning pretty much every game after that. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be one of those like I think if the Celtics, if they let's say they get game one and then they get games three and four because they don't lose much at home.
Well, I mean, the Celtics, no matter who wins the Eastern Conference, they're going to be so banged up.
Oh
Like it
yeah,
is, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's
yeah.
just going to be people,
Yeah, but I will say, in a way, in my playoff scenario right here, I think in a way the Thunder will be a little banged up too against like, going against the Nuggets.
they will,
Actually, yeah, but I both teams will
and the
be good
Spurs.
because the Celtics were against the Pistons. But I think I don't know. I think this is the Celtics year. I think this is going to accumulate all for the Celtics year. And like I said, I think this is going to be the last one they get for at least like 4 or 5 years.
You know what? This might be crazy to say as a Sixers fan, but because I really did not want Boston to win a few years ago. But if they won this year, I would. I mean, I respected their championship in 24. If they won this year, it would be an incredible accolade for the franchise. You could argue this is their best victory as a franchise, except for when they've won over the Lakers,
Yeah,
however many times. But I mean, for not counting like, Lakers series, like this is Jason Tatum out, Jaylen Brown steps up, he's an MVP candidate. This team is so resilient. And then they beat the Thunder, who are like let's be real, the Thunder last year are one of the best NBA teams ever.
yeah,
Like they're kind
yeah.
of like how the Eagles were when they won their
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah,
That's how
I
I see
okay,
it.
I have a question for you right before we end because we're running out of time. If let's say Jason Tatum, if you were guaranteed a fully healthy Jason Tatum in this hypothetical final scenario on the Celtics over the Thunder, would you what would your prediction be? Like who over who and how many games?
I think. I mean, that's so tough. I would say that I think I would go the Celtics just because I think it is so hard to repeat in this league,
Yeah.
especially with it. Nobody's done it in 8 years. But again, I would have it going to seven. Whoever wins the series, I mean, they could with a fully healthy Tatum in your scenario. Whoever wins the series wins by like 5 points.
Yeah.
It's
And
really
the last
close.
two teams to repeat were the Warriors and Heat, and both were super teams. But yeah, I
Yeah.
know Finn, like I said, Thunder Pistons, that would be a good series as well. Just the Thunder a little more experience. But we're gonna wrap this video up. Thank you, Finn, for joining us for one of our last series episodes of season one of Across the Association. Our next video, I think we're gonna do kind of a bloopers reaction of our bad predictions from earlier in the series. And yeah, we're gonna do a first round key recap, second round, all that. Hopefully next time Dev will join us. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.